Children, in this module, we are going to learn about metabolism. We know what is metabolism, the sum total of chemical reactions which is taking place in our cell or in an organism which maintains the living state of a cell or an organism is called as metabolism. So we're going to learn about metabolism in this module. So all the biochemical reactions taking place in a living system constitutes the metabolism. For example, removal of carbon dioxide from amino acids, and such removal of carbon dioxide from amino acid forms an amine group. Removal of amino group in a nucleotide base, hydrolysis of a glycosidic bond, all these are chemical reactions or biochemical reactions which is taking place inside a cell. The intermediate products of metabolic reactions are called as metabolites. So there are different metabolites formed during each biochemical reactions which are intermediate products during biochemical reactions. And the flow of metabolites in a metabolic pathway is taking place in a very regulated way, that is the rate of flow of these metabolites and also the flow of direction is highly regulated or controlled, just like a automobile traffic. In an automobile traffic, the timing and also the direction of flow or movement of vehicles is highly regulated. So in the same way, the flow of metabolites is also regulated way. So this metabolite flow is called the dynamic state of the body constituents. This regulated, the rate and direction of flow of metabolites is taking place in a regulated way, and this is called as a dynamic state of the body constituents. So there are two types of metabolites, primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. What is the difference between these two? Primary metabolites, they have identifiable functions. They have very identified functions in the physiological processes and they are very important for sustaining life. For example, amino acids, sugars, nucleic acids, lipids, vitamins, all these are called as primary metabolites. Whereas secondary metabolites, they are not directly involved in normal growth, development and reproduction. And these secondary metabolites, even though they are not involved directly, they are found in plants, fungal and also in microbial cells. Examples of secondary metabolites are alkaloids, pigments, terpenoids, essential oil, toxins. All these are secondary metabolites which is found in plant, fungal and microbial cells. There are two types of biochemical reactions or the metabolic pathways, that is anabolic and catabolic. Anabolic means the simple molecules form complex structures. So it is a constructive process, okay? And this constructive process in which the simple molecules join together to form or constructed together to form a complex molecule consumes energy. So it consumes energy. For example, acetic acid forms cholesterol, amino acids together form proteins, photosynthesis, all these are constructive processes. Whereas catabolic process in which the complex molecules become or they are broken down to simpler molecules or simpler structures, and it is a destructive process, and in this process there is release of energy. For example, glucose is converted to lactic acid in the case of glycolysis, respiration, all these are catabolic process. So that's the main difference between catabolism and anabolism, which together constitutes the metabolism. As we just told that the destructive process or the catabolic process which breaks down the complex structures into simpler one releases energy. And this released energy during catabolism is stored in the form of chemical bonds. Okay, and whenever it is needed, these bonds which store the energy, it is utilized for biosynthetic, osmotic or mechanical works which releases energy for a work to be done. So the most important energy currency in the living system is the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, in which we can see this is the adenine to which which is attached to the ribose. That means it is a nucleoside, and to which when one phosphate is attached, it is a nucleotide. And that this structure in which the adenine or the nucleoside is attached to one phosphate is called as AMP, that is adenosine monophosphate. When it is attached to two phosphates, it becomes adenosine diphosphate, and three, it becomes adenosine triphosphate. So this is called as the energy currency of the cell. In organisms, the metabolites are present in definite concentrations. Okay, the metabolites, that is the primary and secondary, it is present in definite concentration. For example, the blood concentration of glucose in a normal person is 4.2 to 6.1. Okay, millimolarity per liter, and concentration of hormones is in nanograms, that is 10 raised to minus 9. So it is, yeah, it is very precise quantities. So systems at equilibrium cannot perform work. When a system is at equilibrium, it cannot perform work. So as living organisms work continuously, they cannot reach equilibrium. Okay. So whenever a system is at equilibrium, it cannot perform work. But we know a living system is continuously doing work, so it cannot reach equilibrium. So living system is a non-equilibrium steady state to be able to perform work. It can never reach equilibrium. Once it reaches equilibrium, it cannot do work. But living system has to do work continuously. So living system can be defined as a state in which it is in non-equilibrium. It is in a steady state to be able to continuously do or perform work. So living process is a constant effort to prevent falling into equilibrium. That means a living state should never attain an equilibrium state. This is attained by energy input. So whenever energy is given in to perform some work, it can never reach an equilibrium. Okay, and this energy is obtained from metabolic reactions. So no living state can exist without metabolism. Dear children, in this module we learnt about the sum total of chemical reactions, that is metabolism, which helps us to maintain a living state in our body. We learned about the primary and secondary metabolites, which plays a very important role in the maintaining a steady state in our body. We also learned about catabolism and metabolism. And we learned about how the metabolism helps to maintain a living state by providing energy so that the body does not reach a state of equilibrium. Thank you.